But today, we were hoping that this would be more of like a workshop meeting, as Hannah put in her email. We can probably quickly whip through the formal stuff, but the intent is that we should be talking about how to drive engagement with folks like yourself, how to get people more involved, how to, I don't know, better incentivize engagement and involvement. I think we're in a bit of a weird position where I guess we're kind of starting here. Unfortunately, our president just passed away, and Mary here was kind of roped in at the last minute as vice president, and now we're a little in the spotlight, and not really wanting to be in the spotlight.
Literally.
I think I'm capable of filling the role, but I also enjoy being treasurer.
He does a fantastic job.
He's a great treasurer.
Yeah. Because
All right, so we're gonna
get started since I've made us so late.
4:41.
Yes, that's mine. Sorry.
Go ahead, start.
Okay, so I heard someone say Robert's Rules of Order. Well,
Kind of.
can we sort of fudge it a little?
Yes, I would say today is
Yeah, and
A
since
good
this is a
excuse.
special meeting, since we're brainstorming on how to, get more people involved in the Friends, I think we should just sort of maybe go to it. Do you want to give a treasurer's report, Xander, or?
Sure, very briefly.
yes. I have a
briefly.
couple of quick things also, but then we can move right on.
Okay.
Yeah, so very briefly, we had money before, we have money now.
Got more or less money. Is that what I'm putting in the minutes?
We have approximately the same amount of money.
Okay.
No, I mean, really, membership has been the thing that we have been doing so poorly on this year. And I think we've discussed this the last couple meetings. We haven't had like an announcement or a drive for membership. That was one of the focuses for today. Hello, viewers at home. So despite that, we've had a number of one-time donations and have been doing particularly well on some of our sales so far this year. Book sale, plant sale, and then Jean is just rocking it with her knitted goods and selling those. All of those outperforming what we had budgeted has essentially made up for the fact that our membership has been so anemic. So that's good. It means we're in a position where we have a problem we need to solve, but it's not like an existential threat right now. So we have the space to solve it right. We do have 2 programs coming up for the public that we have allocated money for but haven't spent yet. The Let's Go on a Bug Hunt event for kids in August.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then the rock guy, mineral guy, has come probably twice now.
Ways, yeah, 2 out of 3.
One more time.
Yes.
That's it. The rest is in the report. If you want to see details, ask me questions. That's in the report.
Director's report?
Great. Okay.
A few things just.
Yes, I have a couple things. We'll try to blow right through it. I have a deposit for Xander today.
Annabelle's here. Good.
Oh, Annabelle. Deposit of $230, all in cash. $50 book sale, $20 copier, $160 for gnomes.
No.
We've been selling a lot of gnomes like it's no one's business. Thank you, Hannah, for laughing. Also,
Does that include sharks?
does not include the sharks. I've been saving the shark money aside to kind of. I think we only have $15 for sharks so far, so I figured we'll keep that going. And Jean is also now making Halloween gnomes, which are really adorable. Just little Frankensteins.
Oh my gosh.
Little witches, wizards.
I'm so excited.
I was like, Hannah's gonna lose her mind. It's gonna be amazing. So we'll just keep the gnomes going. Blah, 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 blah.
Question about the gnomes.
Yes.
This sounds like it's something that would be cute to put in a newspaper article. I mean,
Oh, we could.
Granby's, I mean, they are cute, and it seems like people would really pick up on it. So is there any way we can get, like, do we still have, like, the town reminder? Did they send out reporters to do local stories like that?
They do. Yeah, we just have to reach out and
Like,
ask,
that's one.
right? Kite would be here to help with things like that too.
Yeah.
To get, some Granby footage of it too. I will reach out. I have a Sentinel contact. I have a town reminder contact. See if somebody would want to do something to kind of cover all of the different things gnome related.
But the gnomes sound like a really cute article.
Yeah, and people are really into it.
They could picture all the different gnomes.
Yeah,
I
I love that.
I'm sure someone in creative writing class would really be creative about it.
Right.
Write
Yeah,
something.
absolutely. I'll reach out and see if we can get somebody to come do that. That would be fun. To talk about. So moving on, we have the Eric Carl Pass needs to be renewed for $150 for the year. I've already done up the paperwork. That's one that we do every year, so I don't know if a vote is necessary. We kind of already slate the money aside.
Yep, we're good.
Budget. Then I do have one thing we need to vote on. The Youth Services Librarian has requested funding for a Halloween-themed balloon twisting story time and craft with Breeze Balloons, whom we've had before and people really loved. It's $150 for the program. I'm assuming will be sometime in Halloween time, October-ish. And Jan put on here, this will be the only program requiring funding for the remainder of the year.
And we have
Calendar.
approximately 400 left for the year for special events.
Oh,
So as long as we're not talking about any other special events, that fits no problem in the budget.
okay.
Projects.
Any special programs?
Programs, projects.
Okay, so do we want to vote on that?
So it was like 3 or 4 different things. All What was it?
Breeze Balloons.
Breeze Balloons.
She's going to be doing a story time, craft, and balloon twisting all together in one program for $150.
We had her earlier this year, didn't we?
Yeah, people really loved her. It was really cute.
Motion we allocate 150 for the Breeze Halloween balloon.
I'll second that.
All right.
All in favor?
Right. Yeah.
Put that in the minutes.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And I spoke with Colleen today. Lauren's best friend called me and said that Lauren had made it pretty well known that she wanted donations to be made to the Friends of the Library in lieu of flowers, in her memory. So we talked today about how people can do that, how we need the checks made out. I told them they can make the donations online if they need to, or come in if they want to see the library and chat with us. And she also wants to donate her entire book collection to the library.
Oh my.
Which, knowing Lauren, I'm guessing is pretty extensive. So I promised her I would go through it and pick out the ones that the library would like to have on the shelf, because we want to have some of them put into the collection for people to enjoy rather than just putting everything in the book sale. And I'm doing some nameplates so people know this was a Lauren book.
Lauren Memorial Books.
Yeah, so that this, this was donated in memory of, or something that it was part of her collection, and a way to kind of honor her that way. And I also had the idea of coming up with a list of books that were on Lauren's to be read list and doing a display in the library, help Lauren finish her to be read pile.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Adorable.
She was in the middle of a book, so it was killing me. I'm I don't even know if I would ever read this book, but I have to read it so I can finish it for her, because it just breaks my heart that she was in the middle of a book. And I mean, it's one of her favorite things in the world to do was read, and she was so very serious about her books. Do
you feel equipped to manage that on your own, or do you need some help?
I have some help. Miss Annabelle has offered to help out. and a couple other volunteers who had said that they'd be interested in doing that. I know Hannah had mentioned that she would want to be part of that. I don't know to what extent, but so we will definitely come up with something. There's a lot of books on that list. We're friends on Goodreads, and I went on her Goodreads, and I'm like, oh, this will be a piece of cake. She has 999 books on her to be read list.
No.
Which, like,
challenge accepted.
right? Hannah can handle it.
That sounds like she ran out of room.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what's the limit?
It's a
Like,
maximum.
you can't go over 1,000.
Right, probably. They're probably knocking off the bottom every time she put a new one on.
Gosh.
It's funny because her friend laughed when I said that too. She was like, "Sweetie, you're going to be doing this the rest of your life," and I'm like, "Probably," but we could at least do, pick, the last 40 or 50 that she put on there and have it be a thing that, people from my book group I know would probably want to participate because they all knew her very well. And then, people, friends and people that just come in might want to do it. So I'll be getting to that. I'm not going to put like a time frame on it just so that I don't overextend myself, but it's something I want to do.
Now, I know recently the trustees purchased a blackboard for Renee Still.
Yeah.
Have they talked at all about whether they'd want to extend that to Lauren?
Not
friends,
yet.
residents?
They have not met since the news has come out, so I have not spoken with them about what they would want to do or be interested in doing yet.
I wouldn't say that I feel like very strongly, but I could see an argument either way, and it might be worth bringing it to them to discuss.
I know. Now I almost wish we had changed, made the wording less specific
Right.
to just trustees.
Yeah.
Just dedicated trustees and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I ask this company to make me another plaque, they're going to kill me because this is the second one they've sent. Because the first one they screwed up and they didn't want it back. They just
It's
made
like
it.
all off-center.
Yeah, they'd probably kill me if I was like, by the way, one more time. Yeah, but it's something we can think about, or maybe we can find another way to honor her specifically, rather than having plaques all over the building. But yeah, so far those are this is what we're working on for the immediate future. And when the donations come in, I told her we would keep a list like we did with Renee and send a list to her to let her know who donated. And
Have you received any information about services?
not yet. I saw a thing that said probably it would be in September. I think they're kind of taking their time planning everything and putting together pictures and stuff. So I will keep everyone in the loop though as soon as I do hear. I'm friends with her on Facebook, so I see all of her stuff come up, and Colleen's been posting a lot, so I will keep everyone in the loop. There was a nice little news article about the Rock and Mineral program. I actually put it in your mailbox. Janice wanted me to say thank you again to the friends for sponsoring that. And that's it. That's my whole spiel.
Okay, well, thank you. So, shall we move along to the reason we are having this special meeting tonight?
Yeah. I had an idea on how to organize, if you'd like me to share.
Sure.
Okay, so we had approximately 5 or 6 discussion topics, and I figured that we could maybe vote on the top 2 or 3 that this group would like to discuss, and then if there were more of us, I would have suggested, all right, let's split off and do focused conversations. With only 6 of us here, probably it's easier to just have a general conversation
Okay.
about each topic.
Okay. So I have a
That's
topic also. What are your topics?
Let me pull those up real quick. Computers off. They're the ones that Hannah had put into the email. One
Is
moment.
there an email?
I could make all sorts of jokes about that, but possibly.
No, I check my email several times a day.
No. Are you sure you're a friend? Would be the first joke I'd let me find out. It was like, I'm not gonna guess. I'm just gonna literally pull it up and read it. One moment. Okay.
I dropped the same list into the reminder email last week and the reminder email this week.
Yeah, Hannah's here. All right. Well, I found it anyway. So membership drive engagement. or drives in general. Membership structure, talking about the different tiers of membership we have. Donation incentives, so like premiums like you might have with other nonprofits. Uh, Ideas for future events to engage the public. And then mission and vision statements, whether they ought to be revised in some way. It'd be helpful if I this written down for everyone to see.
I remember the discussion about mission statements.
And then the last was social media presence. And I'd like to officially nominate Annabelle as our social media chair. And if we wanted to look at that, we could talk about what nature of social media engagement we'd like to do, where we'd like to do it, and see if Annabelle has any particular ideas now that she's the chair, because no one's going to say she's not doing it. I don't think.
Well, I'd like to make a suggestion that would probably preclude all of what you just said.
Please do.
I was thinking of just, since, I was a founding member of the Friends, one of the founding members of the Friends, I was just thinking if this is not the time to disband, since we have so little community support, it seems, with just 2 or 3 people showing up to meetings and putting a lot of the burden for the Friends responsibilities on the director and her staff, which, we are supposed to be helping them, not they helping us. And so I just was thinking that maybe it's time that we decided the Friends are no longer a viable organization. I know there would be the problem of what to do with the money that we have, and I'm sure we could work that out with the trustees or with the director, having a dedicated accountant. I don't know how we could work it out, but I'm sure it could be worked out. And it seems like a lot of our money comes from the book sale, and I know the previous book sales, the staff and the volunteers have all been responsible for that and the success of it. The plant sale is a one-day event. I don't mind doing that. A lot of money comes from that. So between the book sale and the plant sale, that's a lot of the funds that we have. So why continue limping along with just 2-3 people attending meetings? Maybe it's time to just pack it up and say we just can't move on. And I have spoken to Sid Snyder about this. I called her today. She was the originator of the Friends who had the initial idea. So I spoke with her, and she didn't put up a big hue and cry about it or anything. She understood. So that's where I'm coming from at this meeting. I mean, just
Thank you for bringing up the topic.
just the fact that I'm president again.
Yeah, 40 years later.
40 years later. I mean, I don't know how many times I've been president, and most of it's been not by default, but just because there was no one else to pick up,
Right.
the whole thing. So, like I say, maybe it's just time that we came to the conclusion that it's not working.
And I was going to say, I know membership and how you guys increase your membership was kind of the big thing for this evening.
Well, we have members. That's
Right.
the thing.
And
People will, if we ask, would you like to be a member? They'll say yes, and they'll,
Right.
if they're
They'll give us
dues,
$10.
But where I was going with that was,
then that's it.
are you wanting membership for the Friends to be more, it helps fund programs, so it's more the donations are what matters, or is it we need the volunteers, we need the bodies so that we can do these programs, money's less of the issue, or is it that combination of both?
No, we
I
have,
think that really drives how you go about
The
increasing
tone.
the membership. Because if it's a funding thing, then that's where like your tiers and your gifts work out. If it's a volunteer thing, that's where worker raffles or that type of thing, hour tracking, and 5 volunteer hours you get a mug, or that type of thing.
but you do have volunteers. I mean, you have volunteers manning the desks.
And it's probably the same people
Yeah.
for
Again,
every event.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, that's every organization,
Yeah.
yeah.
which
I mean, from a library standpoint, I think that it's detrimental that we continue to have a 501c3 backing us up. Otherwise, we're not going to have any programming.
It's
friends-
detrimental to
I-
have it.
detrimental that we keep, like, we have to keep it. It's important for us to keep having that 501c3 backing us up.
So it'd be detrimental if we disbanded it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Had too much coffee. Only because if the friends didn't back us up with programming, we wouldn't have any programming. Like the friends help with some of our supplies, our programming. I mean,
My basic understanding is that this collection of money, $7,000 to $8,000 a year, is particularly beneficial for what you and Jean and Janice want to do because it is dedicated to the library. And if that same amount of money was coming into the town at large, you'd be subject to the whims of the town administrator on how to distribute the funds, right?
yes. And it also, because we are, from the state perspective, we're required to hit certain goals with our budgeting, that like the budget has to be, our book spending has to be 19% of the total operating budget. If your operating budget is now, $10,000 more because you're putting in for, more programming, then that becomes inflated and like it gets a bit out of control and it's hard to get that support.
Basically, you have a lot more restrictions on what you'll be able to do, a lot more bureaucracy.
So the friends are like an amazing support arm to the library that can come in and say, these are the things we want to provide to the community that aren't policed by what those requirements are.
Now, to play devil's advocate and support Mary here a little bit, when I moved to this town 2 years ago, I started volunteering at the library because I enjoy it. And you're like, oh, we've got one person running the Friends right now, and she's moved to Northampton and doesn't want to do it anymore. Can you take over, please? After being a volunteer for like a month or two, I'm like, oh gosh, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And we roped Hannah in too. And for a while, it was basically me and Hannah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Hannah's leaving town at the end of this year too.
Right. So that leaves you.
That leaves me and whatever more we can squeeze out of you, which sounds like not much.
No, not much. I have a lot on my plate, and I just don't have the mental capacity to add another thing to what I have to think about and do.
That's interesting.
And I know this sounds hard-nosed, but if the community doesn't want to help, and they're going to be losing out on all the programming, well, you've got to
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
got to give before you can get. And I'm sorry, it sounds hard-nosed, but if they've been the recipients of a lot of good programming, and if they don't want to, put in an effort on our behalf, or on their behalf, then sorry.
do you think a lot of people know that the Friends specifically provides the programming?
Or
Or do they just assume it's the library?
No, every time there's a program, I believe it's, up front
This is
that
sponsored
this
by
is
the-
sponsored by the Friends.
Yeah.
And would you like to join? And they'll probably,
Yeah,
you
here's $10, sure, I'd love to
Yes.
join.
but then nobody shows up at meetings to
Yeah.
help.
And to your point, Brittany, I think it's really important to have us distinguish between what are our needs, money or people.
Yeah.
And I think clearly it's people. We are getting by. We're not. Our eyes are not on the sky here in terms of what we're trying to do with our money. We're spending within our budget easily, no problem. We get money in from the book sale, plant sale, whatever Jean knits. It's excellent. We have a solid income even without membership. We need our people engaged. And if we don't have that, I see your sentiment of like, what's the point if people don't want to join?
Yes.
Now, to Jen's point, I don't think a lot of these things would happen if we didn't have that income. And I don't think that we would have this income if we didn't have the friends to reserve it for library purposes. That was point one. Point two, what I heard, and I haven't really looked into this or challenged it in any way, is that the trustees, they have money and they give it to us for things like the anniversary party last year, or helping supplement the shortfall in computer purchase grant we got from the state last year. My understanding is they aren't legally allowed to handle their own money. I don't know why or if that's true, but whenever they want to spend money, they have to talk to me, and I go to the bank and withdraw money for them or deposit money for them.
That's odd.
It's very odd. I don't understand it, but that's what they told me. Or that's what I was told. I don't know. It was Leah, I think, you told me that. But that would be something we'd need to look into if we wanted
Leah's
to
still not.
seriously this bank.
A trustee issue.
No,
Is
no,
she-
she's retired
Yeah.
from the board.
Yeah. So that could be something I talk to Paula about further. Paula is the head trustee, right?
Is she?
But I think your point again is still well made, which is if this only probably makes sense if we have people willing to be involved.
Right.
And so maybe that should be the tenor of the meeting today is how do we encourage people to be involved? If you even want to spend your time talking about
Right.
that.
How do we? My only thoughts, and I'm not very creative with this at the moment, is like going to town organizations like the PTA, go to one of their meetings and say, and plead our cause. Just reiterate everything that we said here. That, we do things for the community, and we need help. We need people to help us decide on how to further, our cause, fulfill our mission. We could go, I don't know, where else could we go? What other town groups? There's the, is there still a outdoor recreation?
Parks and Rec friends, they were on the brink of disbanding as well, and
Okay.
I believe that they've pulled themselves back from the brink. They met here not long ago. I don't know if you have any additional insight into them.
I don't at the moment, but they
They were in the same position where it's like everyone who's involved doesn't want to be involved anymore. We have no pipeline of
Right,
people.
there's this historical commission and the preservation society. Again, I don't know, but I'm just wondering if they're not in the same boat.
I know that Hannah had mentioned last meeting that COVID kind of destroyed a lot.
Let's stop blaming COVID for everything.
Right,
Everything.
but I'm just curious if before COVID, what kind of, at least in that short frame where
Yeah.
it's very, things happening, before that, what did the Friends look like?
It was pretty much the same. I mean, pre and post COVID, we still have the same problems. No one would show up for meetings.
My impression is that there was a lot of involvement in getting this building built 10 years ago.
Right, there was.
And then it kind of fell
Yes, there was a lot of it.
because there was a
community
common, goal that everyone was
Right.
centered around.
You're right. Do we need another big goal?
People need to feel motivated to go do something, so they have
Right.
to, land around something to do that, so that makes sense.
And we're in a kind of position where these events come up, they're sort of solicited to us. We're not seeking them out, really. And we do as many as our budget allows us to. And if we had more involvement and more money as a result of that involvement, or could facilitate events that cost less because we have more involvement, then we could do more. I mean, I really see this library in particular, as a sort of third place. It's not home, it's not work. It's like what Starbucks wanted to be 15 years ago, right? It should be a place where people can go and gather or
So how do
develop.
we make it more like that?
That's a good question.
About Dino Fest, been to a table
Like a
there.
boat.
Yeah, I know that's kind of
Okay.
great. Yeah, lots of people go to it.
Yeah, there's the does the church still do the Memorial Day, thing on the on the green? I don't even know.
I don't know. But I would, to your point about the PTA, I've attended a few PTO meetings, and they are also in a similar sort of leadership
Yeah.
vacuum over there as well, where they
Boy
need to
Scouts, like the
get
Boy
a
Scouts.
president, you know, so
I
I feel
mean,
like it's a
even-
universal problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unrelated to, like public nonprofit, like I do dog sports, dog events, and those are all clubs, they're all volunteers, and it's the same thing. It's the same dozen people that show up and work. I've, been on nominating committees to try to get board members, and that is just like pulling teeth. Just please, 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 please.
I've
I don't
been the
think
treasurer
it's
for an alumni
specific
association
to-
for many
to
years too,
friends.
and it's always who has to do the job next, not who wants to do the job next. And I mean, again, I get where you're coming from. It feels we're in a tenuous spot right now. But
But it sounds like so are so many other organizations.
yes, and I think that it's going to really, in my opinion, it's going to harm what the library is able to do if we disband. Even if it's just literally one person taking money and writing checks. I mean, this is the sort of like capitalist view, but nonprofits exist to make money. They exist for the purpose of taking in donations to be able to facilitate spending of that money for the purpose that the nonprofit exists. All the other stuff is great and optimistic and idealistic, but when it comes down to it, that's why the 501c3 as an organization exists. And I don't personally see a compelling reason to get rid of the organization. Whether it's worth us coming together every month and talking about it with 2 people or 3 people or whatever. I think it depends on what we're trying to achieve.
Okay?
Sorry,
No,
I'll step off my soapbox a little.
no, it sounds, like I say, very compelling, reason to continue. If there are, if the people who do show up for meetings are still willing to do that.
Yeah. I don't know, speaking for myself personally, being new to town relatively, I use this as a way to meet people and
Right, yeah.
make friends. And I think that maybe we just need to brand ourselves a little bit better. Like, why should you, as an individual of the community, get involved in this? Yes, there's love of books and reading and community and all that stuff, but like, you personally, what motivates you? What would motivate you, Miss Outsider of Net? Or what motivated you to come today?
Well, I was thinking that I paid my dues
Yeah.
over the winter, right? And this was the first meeting that I was able to actually like make room in my schedules, make it happen, because I have young kids who typically do activities on Thursday evenings, and I'm on the hook to take them to Taekwondo in the Hampshire Mall, every Thursday night. So I think,
I think it's very typical.
yes,
So,
it's I'm not unique.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to be involved. I want to be more involved and have more, community involvement. But it is,
It's a balance.
the balance is tough, and, timing is tough. Like, and I'm sure that no matter what time you would put a meeting at, somebody would say, like, well, that's a terrible time for me.
Right.
But yeah, so it's not like the answer for sure, making it at such and such a time to
Yeah.
make it more convenient for people to come. It could help. I don't know, but
Now, I want to give a contrasting point. We joined the PV8 club earlier this year. PV8, the Pioneer Valley Chapter 8, the camping club that has the hall on State Street, just down the road.
Yeah.
There are 160 members, like family members, which I think, Hannah, is that comparable to us? How many friends do we have?
How many friends do we have
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, let me get the number for you.
Okay. Is it ballpark in like the hundred-ish range? You think so?
Absolutely, and I can get the actual number quickly.
Okay. The actual number is not important. Point being, it's a comparable engagement level. But we'll go to a meeting there on a Tuesday night, and there will be literally like 60 families there.
So what brings them there?
And that's what I'm asking myself. Now, they have their committees, give reports on what's going on. They all usually have like some food at the end of the meeting that they all, gather up and drink and eat. They've got babysitters there on the
Wow.
side. They've got like a daycare, so people can bring their kids, and the teenagers have their own club, and they babysit the kids while the meeting's going on. So that right there would help.
Childcare is a barrier, I think, for
Yeah.
people, for sure.
Now, I'm not suggesting we do that here, but they made it easier for families to attend. They provide some modicum of like food drink incentive, and then I think they're just friends with each other, and they use it as a social gathering. They do like card nights, and once people get to know each other, they want to see each other more often. And the meeting itself is kind of dry and boring, but it's an opportunity to socialize before and after.
When do they have their meetings and how many do they have? One a month, and when is it?
It's like Tuesdays at 7,
Or Saturdays.
occasionally Saturdays. Yeah, it depends on the time of year. Like they don't meet at all during the summer because they're a camping club and they go camping instead.
Makes sense.
But in the fall and winter and early spring months, they meet on Tuesdays once a month.
But these people have a common interest, and they're avid campers, so they,
And I do think they have that, you've got families that have been part of the club for generations.
Yeah.
and they have things to talk about, experiences and recommendations on where to stay and do and all that kind of stuff. So I can see why that would be a huge attraction to just go in there and interact with other people who are doing the same thing and get ideas.
Mhm.
So how do
Library, books, common interests.
So, but we have a book club.
We do have a book club. Yeah, I think that. Put a pin in that. I want to hear what she says.
I was thinking,
No, please.
okay. Well, I was just thinking that I come to the library a lot with my kids. I honestly think there is a really great level of engagement with the children programming. Like a lot of people come here
Yeah,
to do stuff with their kids.
the
And
children's library is fantastic.
I feel, well, yeah, no, Janice is great. We love to come to the library. If there was a way to sort of tap in to the people who use the children's programming, because I think they're probably your most consistent
Yeah.
visitor, and they like the programming. They're the people who are utilizing the programming. So if there was a way to get more of those moms to be able to be here, I think that would help.
Get the moms,
that might-
convert the kids.
That might be something that's on your membership application is, what kind of services do you use? What programs are you interested in? That way you kind of have an idea of, do you have people who just want to support the library, or do you have people utilizing kids programming, adult programming, like, I like book club,
Like how much
just
would it
having that
cost
information.
to have a babysitter program running like simultaneously with this meeting? Would that be, how much of an expense would that be?
Could probably have volunteered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, because we have programming that happens on Thursdays and stuff, if there was a program that happened every Thursday, this certain time, or just like every month, once a month. When the dog comes in, I love when the dog. So, I feel like the kids love her. So, there's something, that's Thursday, so I feel like that was pretty much exactly what I was going
Yeah.
to say was, like that feels like a good base to tap into and just, I don't know, because I feel like there are people who feel, like you're saying, there are these common things and it's probably, a lot of people have young children, but they can't get in. So we had a program that was like programming that was going on during that time, then that was already something that we kind of, that we didn't necessarily have to do something extra. We could just.
Every third Thursday,
Yeah.
oop, Yeah, go ahead, Hannah.
I think that I just want to add on to, I apologize, I wasn't sure who was speaking, but something that happens a lot, I think as well, is that there is a lot of programming, but no one knows it's associated with friends, right? Like when we do an event like Bud Hunt, or when we do an event like the terrarium, that's an opportunity. Like every time we do an event like that, there should be, newsletters on the table as people walk in before the event starts. It's like, hey guys, this programming is brought to you by the friends that makes it possible. We'd love to have you. At the end of the program again is, hey guys, thank you so much for coming. This was made possible by the friends. We're always looking for more interaction. And this is how we support the library as a community. Because we have the programs, but I think people aren't associating it with the friends in their heads. They're like, this is a library program.
Yeah.
It's put on by the library. And that is true, but they're not seeing that the friends is enabling it.
It's only possible because of the Friends money.
Yeah,
Exactly. So I think that's something that we really need to work on communicating. Is every opportunity we have is put something that like, hey, this is possible because of this organization that's integrated with the library. Does that make sense? I apologize if someone's already said it and I just didn't hear it.
We talked about that a little bit. I think maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum than Mary. Mary felt like we have been doing that, but I think that there could always be more. There can always be more.
Yeah, I think we could be a little more aggressive about it.
Yeah, like this is here because of this. We are in need of people becoming involved. Please help us and come up with the next great program like this. Something a little bit more like, we need your help.
And ask them, what would be an incentive for them to attend a meeting? Why?
Childcare.
I don't know, really. I mean, we started this when our kids were in school, and we made the time. Maybe the kids were a little older and didn't need babysitting, but I don't think so. I don't know. We made it happen
It's really hard to get
because we
these.
wanted to.
It's really
I don't know.
It costs of babysitting,
It's-
both
No, I
parents
never
typically
had babies.
working.
I didn't mean to talk over you, I'm sorry. But, the playgroup that meets on Wednesdays, there's a ton of moms there and a lot of people come every week. I think that could be a good place to,
So how?
from a membership.
But how do you meld a children's play group with a lot of mothers or parents there with a friends meeting? How do you,
I mean,
Kids go here, parents go here.
Yeah.
Keep the time frames the same.
I mean, do we want to, if we like focus grouped it and like people check out every however many person, hey, what would be helpful for you if you wanted to come to, or did we figure out how many people are opening the emails and doing all this, the stats on that? Because if people are responding to emails, then we could also tag it onto email or something. Just, is there a way to find out, I think you were saying
Like read
who
receipts.
is
Doing,
or what would
Oh.
help
We
people?
start doing read receipts.
Yeah.
Or what I would actually like to see is us taking it off the Granby Library email and using a service that is designed.
Like MailChimp,
Constant
Constant
Contact.
Contact.
yeah.
Constant Contact is
by
great
Constant
for the,
Contact or MailChimp, which our membership is, it's about
We used it,
184 people in our
job
book,
I
and
worked
about
at. It was great for
people
just the
renew
feedback we get.
regularly. And regularly, I mean, within the last 2 years, because this year was low membership, and we figured out the reason why was that mailer program that didn't get re-up. And that's on me, 100%. But I think that if we were to move it to something like Constant Contact or MailChimp and just export that mailer list, we could actually get some data from that that would be used. Are people even reading the reminders?
Right.
Yep.
We don't know.
Is that what we?
I was just gonna ask, I'm not super familiar with the structure of your board and your chairs. Is membership part of the secretary's job, or is membership its own position?
part of
How
the,
is it written?
historically, it's been
Secretary.
the secretary's job. I don't know who's.
How is
I
it
know,
written?
I would
I've
say-
never seen it.
I was curious because that's how the training club I was a part of back in Austin, that's how it was for like 40 years, was secretary and membership were the same position. And one of the things I did when I was president was like our membership is tanking, it's not in a great position. We actually pulled membership out, made it its own chaired position with its own person who can make a committee or get help if they needed. And that really helped a lot. It was one person who could kind of just focus on doing this and not having to do all the secretarial stuff as well.
I think we come back to our original problem.
But then, yeah,
of like,
you don't have.
we had a single person doing treasurer, secretary, president,
No, absolutely.
and we're on the cusp of that happening again.
Yeah, so Hannah's the secretary who has the membership
Yeah.
responsibilities, and she's gonna be leaving, so then that means we have two
Got it, yeah.
positions, if membership was its own.
Yeah.
Essentially, all I've done for membership is manage the membership role, so I just renew when people are added on.
Yeah.
Before I came on for secretary, there was someone doing a mailer program, but I wasn't aware of it. And when we came in and our membership nosedived, it was like a mystery to me.
Yeah.
Why aren't people just giving us money?
Mailer program that was happening, which I'm not even sure if that was managed by the secretary or if it was like someone and a friend, like the secretary and a friend. Friend not of the organization, friend of the person.
Yeah, I think it was all just Leah. Leah knew all the stuff that needed to be done, and it's by the time you joined, she had already left, and it was just me doing treasurer and Jen keeping it together.
Yeah. Because when I came on into the secretary, there's I think something that would be really valuable moving forward would be a clear delineation of roles.
Yep.
So knowing what people are actually responsible for. Because coming on, all I was aware of for the secretary role was updating the membership, so being told who had renewed and then updating that in the record, and then basically minutes and sending things.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, at the very least, we can solve the drive problem one way or the other. Starting next year, we'll make it so that people are notified in some way. I don't feel like that's the core problem here, though. Core problem is just getting people involved.
Right. Well, I think also social media, if you start doing that, you can boost posts and stuff, you can boost all sorts of things. So, I'm thinking maybe that, if we roll out some of these things and we ask people what is impeding them from being in meetings and all these different things, we, do social media, we try all this stuff out, see, give you a frame of time and this kind of what.
Here's an idea to bounce off of yours a little bit. What if one of the first things you do when you get social media access is promote a survey of some sort? Like, we want your involvement. We want to do cool programs. We need people involved to make them happen. Ask those exact questions. Have a Google form survey that you link to and push on for a little bit, a social media campaign, as it were. Like, reminder, we're still looking. Here's a survey. It takes 3 minutes to fill out. We'd love your insight.
That's a great idea.
One of our problems as an organization, for your benefit, is we've got a lot of ideas and we just have trouble activating on them because we don't have enough people
Right.
who have time to go and do them. So we need to get better at that. We need to start
Yeah, we do.
getting people to say yes and I will do this.
Right. Yes, we do. I mean, that's clearly a big part of it, and it's where we should start. Just delegating.
Delegating and making some personal commitments to achieving something. And it can't all just be Hannah saying she's going to do everything.
I do about 40% of what I say I'm going to do. But I'm so sorry.
No, don't feel bad. It's every time you agree to do something, I'm like, that's too much. You know, it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay. So where
are we?
Yeah.
So we,
Are you convinced that we shouldn't disband?
no, I'm not, really. You know, a lot of good ideas have come out, but I don't see how we're gonna implement them. I mean, you're talking about babysitting, having babysitting, someone babysitting in a children's program, so the parents could attend the meeting. Well, when do these children's programs usually occur?
The playgroup that exists is on Wednesday mornings. I was more meaning promote the meeting to people at the playgroup.
That's a source.
Because there's a lot of people. A lot of people come that sometimes you can't even fit everybody who comes to that playgroup in the room. It's overflowing out into the rest of the kids area. So there's definitely people there if you're looking for people.
That one's a tough one because it's actually not sponsored by the Friends.
Right,
It's
but
sponsored by another community, but
it's people.
people
It's
are
people there who come
and-
here regularly.
Right, we could
And,
still
and might, want to be involved, but don't know how to
yeah, that
But then
start.
that goes to when is the best time to have a meeting? A morning meeting?
No.
Not gonna fly. I mean, all these people that work.
Right, so
Yeah.
that goes into pushing a survey to ask people
Yeah.
what works best for them.
Right. Saturday meetings, oh, I've got all these errands to run, I'm gonna have
I
time.
think your weeknight is probably your best.
Well, weeknight,
Like, I think this is probably your
Yeah.
best time for the majority, like you said.
It's just about removing the
Yeah.
barrier for people who want to come, but
Yeah. A little bit of an
An
incentive,
obstacle.
a little
okay,
bit
so
of
what would
a.
be a barrier for people?
What do I do with my kids?
All right, so then we have a babysitter so we're gonna have a friends meeting at 4 o'clock on Thursday, and we have a babysitter, or 4:30, whatever.
Yeah.
And we have a babysitter. Do you
Or-
really think that's going to attract people?
I think it's not just babysitter. I think it's like we're gonna do story time, or we're gonna do a dog, story, whatever the dog does.
So we have to have some
Yeah.
other attractions to attract people.
I really do think that childcare is a very scarce resource that is hard for people, and I can't find a babysitter in this town personally. So if I know my friend is involved with the town meetings in Long Meadow, they provide a babysitter for the town meeting, so people can come and participate, and someone watches their kids. I don't think it's a.
I'm thinking I know there are National Honor Society students that need to do hours.
Yeah.
That's really good.
There are a couple that have been are there any special projects we could do? There's also McDuffie had an art group, a group of students who came here and ran an art program for the little kids as something that they had to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's anything that is available on a regular basis, but we could always reach out and say, hey, we would love for them to come and do that again
Or if
once,
Or if it's not regular, if it's just one time, that maybe at
Once
least
a quarter.
get some more people in.
yeah,
But
that we could just find something else, even if there's a way that we can incentivize them to come. I mean, we're probably going to have to put forth a little bit of financial effort as far as maybe providing snacks and treats every time, and providing the babysitting or the programming or something in order to build up.
I don't want to put a damper on the ideas and the brainstorming. I think you guys are really good at that. I think you're good at that to a fault, it seems. I think from a membership standpoint, if the issue is membership, I think the first thing you do need to identify is it money? Is it time? What do you need from your members? If it's time, what are the programs that you really need the membership? What do you need people to show up for? And then how do you get them to show up?
And
If it's money, that's probably a little bit easier because then you can say, all right, well, we do different tiers, or you can brainstorm that. But I don't think it helps to sit and do a big brainstorm of a bunch of different ideas if you don't know what need you're trying to fill right off the bat.
Yeah.
I remember going to a meeting many years ago of a group of like-minded friends of the library. It was a Friends of the Library meeting of Friends of the Libraries from all over the
Yeah.
state. And one of the it was a common problem getting
Yeah.
people to come to meetings. And the only thing I took away from this is the consensus was you have to make the meetings fun.
Mhm.
That's all I took away
Yeah.
from going all the way wherever I went to this gathering. And this is what I got on it. The meeting has to be fun.
And are
So how do we make meetings
yeah,
fun?
because are these meetings supposed to feel like they're just the board of the Friends meeting and discussing their business? Or
Maybe
is it-
that's what people think it is.
or-
That's what keeps them away.
Yeah. Or does it feel like it should be like everybody who is interested in the library, who cares about programming, who has any interest, like let's do something to just to foster that socialization, that camaraderie, make it fun. So it may just be that's the perception, is that it feels like it's a board meeting, and board
Right.
meetings are boring, and
Right. Yeah.
somebody will send out the minutes, and I'm happy to read the minutes. Or maybe you need to accept that people are happy to donate money to the Friends. They're happy to look at the emails that go out. But realistically, that's the most you can ask from your group. And you say, okay, how can we work with that?
Well, you put out a very a good word is camaraderie. I think
I
you
mean, would
could
it be possible to change our model to doing board meetings and then once a year having a friend, something like a friends meeting that's integrated with some other significant town meeting, like it could be a town hall or something, and it's right before or right after.
A general friends
once a year,
meeting.
the board,
Yeah.
general friends meeting, and that meeting is fun, and the board presents information from the year, talks about new ideas, that's the public input, we do it once a year, and otherwise it's just the board meeting.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we did with the training club, is I think the board met every month. We had a general membership meeting with everybody once a quarter. And then once a year, we threw like a big, like, everybody come have fun. Like, they have it
Banquet.
catered, and it's like, oh, we did this program and we had this event and it did really well. And, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of socializing, but it was also informative as well, because you heard from all of the board and committee members.
well
People like to know where their money's.
moving on that idea. I mean the 40th celebration drew a lot of people. So your quarterly meeting, we made it sort of like not a celebratory thing,
An
but
event.
an event.
It just, yeah, if
Maybe
you
that would
maybe
be-
don't put it as like, this is a meeting, this is our quarterly friends
Gathering.
gathering
yeah.
or get together, come learn, like, what have the friends done this past
Yeah.
quarter? What do they have going
I
on?
like that idea.
Like light catering available, just something that makes a little bit of an incentive.
Because I don't feel like we need 50 people showing up to this sort of meeting every month. We need more than one. We need more than 3, but we probably don't need more than like 5 or 10.
So and I don't know how your constitution or bylaws or anything are written. I don't know what you would need to change, if you would need to change anything, but I mean, once a month for a lot of people is a lot.
Unless they were all
Especially when it's no
coming for something else.
offense when it's very, very dry.
Yep.
And you're just, like, I'm gonna come for half an hour and they're gonna read through the minutes and they're gonna give their reports and we're gonna go home. I don't think you need, or maybe you should even expect, like, your general membership to wanna come
Mhm.
to something like that.
So a quarterly meeting where you could have sort of that plus a convivial atmosphere.
Yeah, so if you did like, do your board meetings once a month, once a quarter, instead, in lieu of your board meeting, you do like a general meeting or you have your board meeting really quick beforehand, 4:30, and then 5 o'clock you have your get together with, light snacks, just to get people to come and hang out. And then once a year, just have like a little, Friends of the Library bash. It's maybe a little bit more involved.
Well, that sort of ties into making meetings fun.
Exactly. So it's not like we're just here to discuss business. We're here to, talk about like what was fun, what worked out, what we liked, learn about what's coming up so you can plan for it.
And having those connection points is what develops those relationships and produces the pipeline of people who would be willing to serve on the board in the
And yeah, you don't have
future.
to make those membership quarterly meetings, like they don't have to be just your membership. You could say like
Bring a friend.
like friends, bring a friend if you're interested in joining. That type of thing.
I'm doing a little applause emoji. Don't be serious.
What did she say?
Just doing a little applause emoji.
Oh,
Is it okay if I butt in?
please.
So we're also looking for members.
Yeah.
If this is an event you're putting on, and it sounds like a lot of other nonprofits. in
Are
the
you
area-
paused?
That's true for a lot of things. Like people can't show up if they don't know something is happening. They can't show up if they get the information last minute. I don't think it's fair to always expect people, especially when you're trying to bring in new members and get people to want to volunteer and be excited. You've got to hold their hands a little bit. You've got to make it fun. You've got to like be there, do a little bit of coddling, and then like, okay, this is fun. This is great. I want to come. These are nice people, because it's really easy when it is, and I'm not saying this about the Friends specifically or any group specifically, I've seen it, again, I go to dog shows all the time, and they're always put on by nonprofits, they're always put on by volunteers. It is so easy when you've got new people they're bright-eyed and they're excited and they want to do it and join it, and then you've got the old volunteers who, they've been doing it for 20 years, and they're grumpy, and they're just like, no, I don't have time to do it. So I think just making sure too that you're there and you're excited and visible to them and going out of your way a little bit to say, hey, you're new. I saw you just sign up. Is there any program you might be interested in doing? Just things like that definitely make a difference too.
All right, so I'm sensing a few key themes here.
So again, I think you guys need to define what you want, what you need to get from your membership before you can do anything.
Yeah, and I think I would kind of define that as we need enough of a core group to remain viable and be able to do business. That's one.
So
Yeah.
it's saying, do you have enough people to run your friends do you have enough people to make it along for another year, another 2, while you can work on things?
It's tenuous.
If volunteers are the issue.
Yep.
Or you say, we can get by with just our little handful of people as long as we have the money for the programs. Because the programs are what are most of the programs? Just organizing somebody to come in.
Yeah.
Most of the programs come to us, right?
Yeah.
Like you or Janice or Jean say, hey, I was contacted by this person. They've got this program that they do. Do we want to do it?
So I think identifying like if you need volunteers, where specifically do you need volunteers so you can kind of focus on getting people who are passionate or interested in those things versus do you just need to is it more of the revenue, the income?
My impression is that the revenue of membership takes care of itself if we request it of people. And we didn't request it of people this year, and that's where we're at, which is fine. It's a solvable problem.
We can fix
And,
I don't think
and
income is
membership
the
is just a flat,
At the moment, it is. It's, you pick which one, family, individual, whatever, and it's got a dollar amount.
Yeah.
If we wanted to do more, we would need more money. But we, honestly, I think are operating at our volunteers' capacity right now. People
I'm
who are
just
involved
asking,
are
like-
doing what they're capable of doing.
so I'm asking like, what do you need the volunteers for? I think identifying that will help you identify like, where do you go look for volunteers? How do you go about finding those
Yeah.
people?
In my opinion, we need enough people so that when someone's no longer able to do the job, we have someone able to take it over.
So specifically a board.
Now, what are you asking? You're asking what we need? I mean, how many people or,
No, I'm just saying like,
What nature of
yeah, so
thing
you were
would-
talking about membership in general.
so you're
So,
talking
yeah.
about the membership, not the library staff, what they need.
Correct.
It's what we need, what the fringe need
But
versus the,
Well, I mean, and that could be, related if the friends need volunteers so that they can help the library staff.
Yeah.
I think it's just identifying like what type of volunteers do you need? Do you need people who could be on the board? Do you need people who could help with programs? Do you need people who could help just with the staff with day-to-day stuff or
I think the key,
plant sale, book sale, like
I
specifics?
think a really good distinction here would be between the plant sale and the book sale. Plant sale is entirely friends run, and it's you run it. Let's be honest. The book sale
but it's not hard. It doesn't take more than one person.
exactly. The book sale, as a counterpoint, takes in like 5 times as much money, and it's you.
Right.
And you scrimp and scrape for volunteers. I think the book sale should be run by the friends.
Right. All of these things should be
Yeah.
run by the friends. I don't think we should have to, we're there to help the staff, not
Yeah.
the staff helping us. That's not the way it's supposed to
Although
work.
our book sale turned into a month-long thing, as before it was like a morning, one Saturday afternoon type
Right,
of
that's the
deal.
way it started, was
Now
one
it's a
Saturday.
whole month, so look, I would never expect the friends to run the entire.
But
Well, but
But the
we
friends
should.
could be responsible for setting it up
yeah,
Yeah.
and tearing it down.
and it,
No, we should be responsible for running the whole thing. For setting up, for
Yeah.
being there to take the money to, organize the books. We should be responsible for it all. I don't think the staff should have to, take their time to do it.
I know there are other libraries that are completely friends run, but they have a year-round book.
Yeah, we would go to Florida for the winter and they had, at the
Store. They have a book store.
They had a room in the library that was dedicated to the book sale, and it was open all, the same hours as the library, and they had a permanent, like you, all month. Well, this was all year.
Cool.
So, we can't do that yet.
Yeah.
You need a book shed.
What was that?
A lot of the libraries near Boston, like where my dad lives, like Arlington, Belmont, all those ones, like that whole area, they all have like some room that they set aside. I'm not sure they necessarily have the space for that, but yeah, they have like a room set aside. And
Yeah, you would have your cart out there with books, books for sale all the time.
This is where I wish I had like something presented where I could be kind of taking notes while we're brainstorming here. But to circle back to what you were saying earlier, Brittany, our clear needs are we need a board that is able to survive turnover of people, and we need these events that we put on to be able to be run by the friends.
But we also need people like you who are creative, who can think about, where the friends are going and how we can sustain ourselves.
And the more people we have involved, the more committees we can make
Right, the
to
more
allow
ideas we
people
get.
to devote their efforts to things they actually care about most.
So what I'm hearing is you're saying that the need is building that camaraderie with your membership, getting your
Right, yeah.
membership involved.
I think that's number one.
You don't need to figure out how to get more people. on the roster. You don't need to take in more money. You need to figure out how do we make the friends something people
Be
wanna
more
come
friendly.
to.
Yes.
You know, people can say, you know, like, maybe I can't come every month, but I can come once a quarter. I can come once a year and then get excited and find things I want to volunteer on.
Yeah,
And if it's less frequent and more special, people might be more willing to adjust their schedule to make room for it.
okay, so we've come around after all this to thank you to this, you know, realization is this is what we need to do.
Yeah. I mean, the
Social media supports it, and I think it's just another form of communication mechanism, as Hannah pointed out, that can give us more data and help us engage more effectively with people.
And again, you know, like I said, you need to make sure you're communicating things, getting it out there with plenty of time. Also, you know, doing it in a way that works for the community you're trying to serve. So maybe that's not so much email, like not saying don't skip out on one thing, but instead of saying we only rely on email, we only rely on social media, saying, you know, we've got people who are younger who need the social media. We've got people who 30s and 40s, yeah, they're going to check their email every day. We've got other people.
Fax and phone call.
We've got other people who they come in. They're not going to read a newsletter from us because they get 500 newsletters a day, like my mom who has, 1,000 unread emails at any given time. She would never see a friend's email, but she would go to the library and be like, oh, there's a flyer, oh, there's a meeting, awesome, and take a newsletter, a physical paper newsletter to read. So I think it's important to make sure not only are you communicating early, clearly, but you're communicating in all of those ways so that nobody should have to go look for the communication from you. Like that goes back to that holding hands for your new volunteers. Like it's right there. It's so easy to get information.
Yeah, we definitely think catering to different demographics of people.
Yeah, because it's a very, this is, it's a small town, but there's a huge, range of people who are using the services.
I mean, it still surprises me, I think, to see the demographics of this town being so small and yet being so diverse, socioeconomically, age, family versus not. We don't have kids when we're young. We're not uncommon. Older folks are in town. That's not uncommon. People with families. It's a very relatively,
Where do you get
Color-
that information?
color of skin aside, the census data, 2020 census. We're all very white here, but other things are very diverse, I think, relatively speaking. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for people to find. There aren't many gathering places in town.
Yeah.
That are
Run the
accessible.
gamut on that.
Right. Yeah.
And
Good point.
I ultimately, Winehouse was like a revelation when it opened. It's like, oh, finally, there's a place to go for fun in town and not have to go to South Hadley or Amherst or wherever. But that's still limited to only people who are of age, like to drink, and can go out when their business is open. Hours aside, this is a great place for families more than anything else. I think.
Okay, so how can we encourage families to come here,
I think they're already coming here.
congregate?
I think we just need to up level their involvement.
Yeah.
And I think
So-
what we've talked about,
Yeah, I don't think if you just suddenly change your meeting format, that's gonna fix your problem. Maybe you need to have like a little bit of a membership thing. Just put on,
drive.
look at your budget, see like where is there a little bit we could do something fun for membership. The anniversary event with Rebecca, the musician, that was very well attended. So maybe, not to that level, but just doing just something, putting it out there to the community, saying, the Friends need you, we need volunteers, come learn more about us. We're gonna have some little event on Saturday morning. We're just gonna be here all day, come in and out, talk to us. Something like you guys do with like the hot cocoa bar and things, just, we'll have something fun to get people in, but then we'll also, you could do, like the Friends helped do this program and this program. over the years, and it's, it's so important that we have that membership. And, I think if instead of doing it as like a 1 or 2 hour thing, maybe if you did it, at a time when, like Wednesday, you said the playgroup is packed.
Yeah.
So maybe just identifying like 1 or 2 times that the library is really busy, that you could kind of piggyback on that and say, hey, we're having like just an open information thing. Come in, grab coffee and cookies and talk to us about the Friends. Because again, maybe people don't know that the Friends puts on a lot of the programming that they like. Maybe they would be inclined to say, I don't have the time, but I can donate to the Friends. Or, oh yeah, I'd love to volunteer for this program. Or, oh, I know this great person who does good kids programming or adult programming.
I mean, what it sounds like we need is someone to drive our social outreach.
I don't think you can just send an email and expect people to come
Yeah.
if they aren't already coming.
Agreed.
I think you've been doing that and it's not.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Thank you for asking the question. So yeah, what did you say?
I think that was a sneeze.
I like the idea of starting with an in-person drive, whether that's like on Saturday all day, like little booth with some, I don't know, like stickers or just like something to get people to know.
Don't set it
I feel
up.
like there are like
You could set up like right out there in the main part of the library too. Make it impossible for people to bypass you.
Yeah, they can't walk by.
Yeah, like put
it's
some
there.
nice things with like, the Friends funds this. Did you know the Friends funds the the book sale or the plant sale, and that helps provide the programming for this thing and that thing.
100%. I think that's a really strong starting place to do something like that in person.
And to do it when you have a lot of people coming into the library just naturally, I think would help. So they're not making a special trip.
Yeah.
And I think going back to Mary's pointed question though, there's 3 of us right now. We have friends on the roster. Maybe it takes one of us putting a bit of a push, myself, Hannah, or you,
Maybe.
to say, this is what we want to achieve in the short term. We need to drive engagement so that we can still be a viable group. We need someone to help us with social outreach. We're struggling. I don't know exactly how we'd want to put it to not sound desperate, but to sound more like,
Maybe you need to sound a little different.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe an outlet.
Have you listened to NPR during their pledge drives? They are very desperate and not ashamed about it.
Make it feel a little.
Let's, I think they have a pledge drive coming up in August. Just take notes. What are they
I mean,
doing?
like, we literally just lost our president.
Yeah.
Lost who?
our
Our
president.
president of the Friends.
Lauren.
Like, we just should, if we're gonna get
Struggling.
people to realize we're struggling, well, I mean, not to push that, but I mean, we have a loss. So,
And
we
we-
need to figure out how we're gonna move forward.
We have lost our president,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Very sadly. You could lose
Suddenly.
the current president. I mean, we don't have a vice president.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have a vice president.
Is there an election?
And I don't even know.
October. I mean, usually we would do new members in October, but I mean, would you like to be a vice president? You can be vice president right now.
Right now.
I mean, I think that's what I mean. It's like, is it like if the literal president of the U.S. dies, Spike EP steps in, and then wasn't that kind
Everybody
of
gets bumped
do
up.
we have like a
We have
There-
bylaws.
There's a chain of succession.
Yeah, I'm sure
thank
this is
you.
written
I was like,
down
that's somewhere
somewhere.
because okay, cool.
We had bylaws, where there was a whole nomination process. I mean, that was by the boards a long time ago. So we had president, vice president, and like I say, there was a nomination process. People voted, if there was anybody there to vote. And that was it. And, like I say, there was never anybody there to vote. People just assumed the position because the only
facto.
was
Yeah, they're
there. It was a
contested.
de facto thing. But like I say, now there's no vice president. So what happens when I die tomorrow? I mean,
I'll be very sad.
yeah, but then what, the next day what happens?
Well, and again, I come back to
Treasurer,
As-
president, treasurer, and secretary?
as long as there's someone to take money and write checks, that's the minimum needed to keep this thing afloat. But it's not going to achieve what we envision it capable of achieving. But practically speaking, yeah, that's what would happen. If
But
you
we are-
died and Hannah left town, it would be on me and
Right,
I'd
but
slowly
we are
go crazy.
incorporated and, we have to,
There are some legal requirements that said you only need to specify one particular officer on all the legal documents.
well,
I don't want to. I mean, I don't know how much useful it is to spend time focusing on this right now.
Right.
Yes, we need more people.
okay.
But that's,
So that's where we're at.
get it.
We need people.
You need people,
Okay,
you need
I
people
think-
for,
Brittany's idea of a quarterly meeting where you make it.
Make it fun.
Make it fun.
split your meetings up. We're gonna be here.
This is business. This is fun. This
Board
is
meets,
business
your
fun.
membership meets, and then
We can have
Something
business
fun.
and fun together.
Yeah, minimal business, a lot of fun, maximum business, and then a little fun. Something. I don't know. I'm just talking right now. I think, Hannah's taxed. You're overwhelmed. I can take on drafting up some sort of post, maybe in conjunction with our new social media chair, Poof, to seek out help.
Okay.
I mean, I can be VP, I could just assume that right now if you'd like, but like helping you guys with things, yeah.
Social media.
Yeah, VP doesn't do anything until suddenly you're in charge.
I don't think you're gonna fix your problem of meeting people who are involved at the level where they say, yes, I wanna be a board member quickly.
Right.
I think, you definitely have to start just getting your just general membership involved, making it easier for them to feel involved and have those opportunities.
Yeah. Being a committee member is like the gateway to becoming a board member. And we don't we don't have committees right now. We should have a plant sale committee. We should have a book sale committee. We should have committees with a focus, social media. And then those people, after a year, 2, 3, or whatever, they become like, oh yeah, I see a need. I can see myself devoting more time to this. I'll be a secretary or president.
That's a good idea.
Hook them, the gateway position.
Maybe when you do the membership outreach, to your point about concrete requests of time, to have some kind of sign up just beyond, say, the book sale committee
Yeah.
or whatever specific
Yeah, like-
category of help that you're asking for.
Yeah, like the book sale, like we're setting up, book sale starts on this day, we're setting up the week before.
Yeah.
Come, anytime during these hours and we'll put you to work.
We're gonna have pizza and soda. Bring your kids. Help organize books.
So we have that coming up
Yeah,
in September.
yeah.
So we're talking like end of August. So we've got a month.
And I'm very sorry to say that we're going to be out of town August 20 through September 9. So I'm tapped, unfortunately. But that's the perfect example of like we don't have a deep roster here, right?
Yeah. So we need to, if we're going to do things, we're going to have to do them soon.
Yeah.
I think also like just what speaks to each person. I think like what we've all been talking about is like what connects, what like common thing is like gonna draw people in. Like, yeah, if they like the books.
Yeah. There's book club. There's knitting club. There's story
So
group.
many other things and kind of just slowly draw them. So they want to read.
And it feels like it should be really natural that anybody who is involved at the level where they're coming every week to one of the clubs, like those people would be friends.
D&D group.
I don't know if that's true.
I,
And then it would be really easy, you know, with your knitting club or your book club to say, oh, hey, by the way, book sale starts this week, or starts next week, we need help setting up. So book club is gonna do like the hour before, the hour after, and go help set up.
Yeah.
But little things like that can,
well,
Yeah.
I think you need
all
to,
the little clubs and groups are also kind of pushing that, it helps too.
yeah, you need to connect in the mind of the people who are benefiting from these programs. All these chessboards were funded by all your magic cards for your magic group, the D&D, all the materials that you're using. This is what makes it possible, and here's how you can help ensure that it will continue being possible.
So at my August book group, I need to butter them up with snacks.
Have the friends,
treats and have a table
pay for it.
and say if you guys want to continue doing extra stuff with our book group, this is where it would come from and this is how you can get involved. And
Yeah, think about it like we're gonna read a book, and then we'll all get together and watch the movie that's based on the book.
Oh my gosh.
And we'll fund purchasing the book and the movie and the popcorn and the whatever else you want to
Okay.
make it a fun thing.
Yeah. Because I was just saying, like,
Up level.
little ways, like, you can get some of, like, just gently coerce people into the volunteering. Because you've already got some of those groups who they have the social aspect, they've got the camaraderie already. You know, you should be pushing them to join the friends if they're not. And then also just, like, saying, hey, guys, let's meet, like, half an hour early, or let's stay half an hour late, and we're just going to go help the book sell set up next week after our meeting.
So Jen, what is your volunteer roster like?
we have about 19,
19?
17, about 19, I'd probably say maybe 15 to 17 who are, that's why they came off of the meeting.
Hi, folks.
Well, where the hell have you been?
Yeah, hello. How we doing? My name is Matt. I was the driver in the car with Hannah. Hi, everybody.
We have some beverages over there. If you'd like to help yourself.
Perfect. She's just using the restroom. She'll be over in a moment. Yeah, we'd love to be able to contribute a little bit more
Yay.
in time. If
You
that's
made
okay.
it. We have probably about 15 who are active volunteers who come in on a weekly basis.
Now, do you have any idea? Are they
Should be friends.
are they
I'm
friends?
gonna say most of them are either trustee friends. Annabelle is one. I'm trying to think. We have Denise, who is a friend, and a trustee. There are some that are newer that
Ready?
have not been approached about that. I'm not sure if Winnie is. I think Winnie's a friend. Didn't we? I think we roped her in around the same time we roped you
Might
in.
have.
Yeah,
Might have.
I'll have to check on that. But
I think the point though is that we've got pockets of groups that are friendly.
We've got to get them together.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, maybe
Have
like
a
starting there.
library club mixer.
Hannah, you look gorgeous.
We're being recorded on GCam, just to let you know.
This is Kite. There's snacks and drinks are over there.
All the people at home can watch us, just stuff our faces.
Wasn't it me? Wasn't I the person at home? Or is this a separate?
Oh.
That's a separate. That's like the community access.
Oh, neat.
And-
Sorry, I thought it
And
was
this
Zoom.
is Caroline.
So nice to meet you.
She is our outgoing secretary.
Just keep chatting.
Unless we can convince her to not move to Maine.
I don't want to create chaos.
All right. I think we need to start talking about tactics. We've got
About
a lot
what?
tactics.
Tactics.
We've spent a lot of time ideating. We've got the idea of quarterly or yearly meetings that we should promote as like, if you're going to pick one, come to this one. We've got the idea of childcare in some form as a way to lower the barrier to attending. And then we've got the idea of like putting out the message. We need help.
So so maybe you say like, you start with, the existing clubs and groups within the library are the first place you guys want to start. And then start working on them. Then you start working on your general membership, seeing what works, tweaking that, and then hopefully you kind of got that pipeline to people becoming more involved.
Yeah, in my
And your
mind.
volunteers.
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Cross collaborating with groups that are already inherently very active is important.
Yep.
Reach out to your local Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops. Reach out to already organized institutions that are invested in what operations are already running. And that can be a huge point of gathering very, very motivated people very, very quickly. I used to run a jigsaw puzzle board game shop, and we used to get a ton of really, really active, very, very consistent events. One of the easiest ways to do that is to reach out to groups that are pre-motivated for being invested in the spaces that they're participating
That's a
in.
good word, finding people who are motivated to contribute to the community.
Right.
So-
So if you look for those pools, reach out to your National Honor Society groups, look into any schools that do community service programs, like as part of their curriculum. Reach out to the McDuffie School, I guarantee you that's part of their curriculum.
We hit that on earlier.
Yeah, so reach out to any of the local schools, any of the local organized groups, and then just look for those, especially kids, especially younger ones, because parents are going to be very invested generally in the spaces that their kids are going to be spending time in. And then also, if you can get them in early, their kids will grow into it if they stay in the area. So those are probably, in my opinion, the easiest tactics.
Who was it who mentioned the volunteer drive earlier, like having multiple organizations? I was just listening to voice of that.
It was tight.
What about the idea of having like a volunteer drive event? We're not the only people in town who are struggling with membership right now, because didn't Granby Town Days just not be able to function?
Charter
Yeah,
Days,
mention that. Yeah,
Parks
Charter
and Rec.
Days just.
So what if we reach out to the Historical Society, the Charter
We're
Days
struggling.
group, any group that is community-based that does a volunteer structure like ours? What if we reach out to them and we set up a day here at the library and it's a volunteer fair? And we advertise it to the library, or we're the library. We advertise it through the school. So we do it in October, right? So all September, we push it in the school because high schoolers have required hours. We push it in the school. We put flyers absolutely everywhere, those in the newspapers, and we're advertising it for a month, not once. And I know this comes back to the same question because I see it in your face. I see it in your face. You're like, who doesn't, right? But if we can figure out the who does it part, I feel like that would be a good way to start this thing that we want to do with getting more volunteers.
If this is so I'm so sorry. I just put a foot in my mouth.
You're on camera.
Sorry. If this is genuinely a collaborative event, you can use some of the volunteers from the other groups that are also collaborating.
Cross-
So it's not something that we
cross
have to do
advertise.
alone, because if everybody's benefiting and everybody's contributing. You can actually dispense the weight of this among everybody.
We
Yeah,
get one
also
of those like
read-
trifold poster boards.
Well, because it would also get you communicating with these other groups that are also volunteer organizations that do other things in town.
Yeah.
And being able to kind of cross-pollinate is also very, very helpful. Because people who are willing to give
Sounds
might be willing to.
exciting.
Hmm?
Yeah, I think volunteer fair sounds exciting too. Also, you can get like, anyone in local government, get them plugged in. This is about like the vitality of our community and partnership and, bringing up a next generation of volunteers, and we want people on board.
Got a new select board member, right?
Well, that's
He or she might
interesting
want
that you
to-
brought that up. This is the first time I've heard anybody suggest that we get the town government
Mhm.
involved in all of this. So that's a good point. So where does that come in?
Yeah,
Where
and,
do
and
we
I
do
think
that?
tactically it's going to be one or more people reaching out to each individual organization, establishing a contact, and having that conversation around, would this be of interest to you? We'd like to set something up. We think it could benefit you.
I totally on board with doing that.
You'd want to do that. You'd want to take that role.
Which one?
The contacting of other nonprofits to
Yeah.
engage in interest.
Yeah, because I know Shayna Humphrey, and I know people from the historical
Look at
Okay.
her dropping names.
society. So yeah, I could contact other volunteer organizations if I knew all of them. I don't know, what do we have besides the Historical Society, the Preservation Society?
I'm trying to solve
Friends
this.
of Defrays.
Yeah, I'm trying to solve the same sort of problem at work. My tactic is I start with the groups I know, and then each group I talk to, I ask them, what are
Ask
the groups
them.
you know?
Yeah. No, and also contacting the town, the town
The
government.
select
So
board
the select board, reach out to them.
Yeah.
See what, how they could help us.
Yeah.
I,
My concern is September's coming quickly, and I'm personally out of town for 2.5 weeks. So I can help where I can, but my engagement would have to be before and after that time frame.
I have a question. Would it make more sense to do our own little Saturday morning drive where somebody's sitting at a table right there with the brand new flyers we're gonna come out with? We're gonna do that on the membership. We can get those printed off fast enough. Do we want to start with something like that first to drum up a few more possible committee members to help with this, and then do
like
this
Saturday morning, like coffee and cookies,
That's
or
what I'm
coffee and
thinking, like
donuts,
coffee
with
and
friends.
cookies.
Get those coffee
at
makers
that
out.
table. Right, we'll figure something out. I know where Dunkin' Donuts is, if not. Something small, feasible, we can do this now kind of a deal. Like, we can pick a Saturday now.
Put your
and-
shirts and your bags out.
Yeah, like something we can just
talk
pull
to
together.
people. Yeah, like some pictures of like the friends helped, do this and that, and you.
Be like a baby step. Something we can do, something small that
Yeah,
would be
so
a baby
you're
step.
you're tapping into that group that's already here and coming and dedicated to the library already. And you can help a little,
Get more
everyone get
people.
involved.
Yeah, and then we'll
then
have a little
launch from that.
space to then jump into this, like, hey, now we want to get
Yeah.
all of our volunteer or our organizations in town to help boost everyone's
Yeah.
volunteer base. Like, let's get the information, the communication flowing. But I think we need like a starting off point for us.
And it might make sense to make that starting off point here with people who are already involved to some extent.
And like a small, something that's not scary
I
and
think
daunting.
GCAM
that
would
we're
enjoy
like, oh,
potentially
gosh, like, what did we
participating
just agree
too.
to
There you
do
go. There's another nonprofit.
in 2 weeks from now.
GCAM.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
We can also order some free swag from the National Friends of the Library Association, because you can order stickers from them and flyers about what friends organizations do. So yeah, we can
be a friend.
stickers.
That's like
I
the,
like stickers.
the friends of the friends of the
Who
library.
doesn't love friends? Yeah.
The greater friends.
Super friends.
The super friends.
Yeah, I mean, even you guys could take your logo and just online order stickers for really cheap.
I
and
love
have them
that.
within a week.
Who wouldn't love our logo and sticker?
Sell them for $1. Give
Sell
them away
for
to
$1.
the membership, come in a member this weekend, get a sticker.
Sticker.
On any day that you do plan on doing the drive, I would do it right after a kid event.
I'm thinking just throwing it out there. Saturday, August 3rd is the Rock and Mineral workshop in the morning. So that usually rolls until noon. So if we had,
So it's
Hour and a half.
events. We're also looking for new volunteers
Yeah.
for some of these other events that we are planning on doing.
yeah,
Saturday.
And
Saturday, August 3rd.
I'm gonna throw it also out there
But
that
that's
the more people you have,
Like next week.
Right.
who can show up on August
That's
3rd
a
to
week
make it
from
look
Saturday.
And
will be better. If it's just one person at a booth, it's kind of
Yeah.
You always need witty.
Yeah. Well, like this group of people
need-
there who are excited.
Right.
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
energy
need
is up,
yeah.
right? Because people will match that. And then if we know that our highest turnouts are going to be kid events anyway, asking those parents to volunteer specifically for other kid events that they know they will be bringing their own kid to, they'll be there, anyway. So it's actually not that much, and then you kind of get them in the habit.
And yeah, I mean, you can even say volunteering is just like, it's, you know, we need you to help like for, 15 minutes to just set up like the snack table.
Right.
Or
We need
tell
you
them
to
to
chaperone,
put out
realistically.
chairs. Yeah. You just need somebody to help us put out chairs or take chairs down at the end of the event for like 10 minutes. It's not, we're not at, people here volunteer and they think it's all day out in the field weeding.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know like events that I do, like people here volunteer and they think, oh, I've got to volunteer to be there all day.
No, for like half an hour.
Like, we need you for 10 minutes, like just to, like, you're gonna be sitting almost the entire time doing nothing. That's what volunteering actually means. But yeah, like a dog knocked a bar on a job, just go reset it really quick. It's not a hard job. If you want to do more, we're happy to have you all day.
Right.
Like, we also have, 10-minute commitment.
Let's activate. on that.
Activate. Let's do it.
Let's-
I'm actually not scheduled for that morning. I will come in to solely help you guys with that. Like, I will not be Jen the director. I'll be Jen the friend
Jen the friend.
getting stuff
Jen the
done.
friend.
Jen the friend.
Yeah, the friend again.
And I think an important element of all this is we need to remain focused.
Yeah,
Got-
like focus on this one thing.
Yeah.
Let's get
Got
that
limited
flyer.
bandwidth, limited emotional, mental,
Have limited
financial.
We need to be very objective oriented.
Yeah. Like, let's put it all into this August 3rd.
So August 3rd is the get 3 more people who are willing to actually put in some time.
And let's be desperate. We need people. We need.
So
we're
what are you
desperate.
doing exactly?
We've
on
decided
Mars?
that we're going to be desperate.
I think secretly we're looking for someone who can help us with social outreach, right?
So, Mary, what are some of like the biggest projects that the Friends have helped fund outside of like just the
Well, this building.
building?
Building.
Like this building, like that should be a huge talking point.
Congratulations.
Like this library itself would not be possible without the Friends. Absolutely.
But on August 3rd, what are we doing?
Coffee and cookies by the door table. We're going to have the membership forms. We're going to have our tote bags, our t-shirts, and a lot of talking to patrons, I think.
And this is during the rock event?
Yes.
During and immediately after
Is
what?
that the Rocket Center?
Yeah.
Form.
Yeah.
So that starts at 10:30. We could make this an 11 to 1 type of a thing. That way we're kind of,
Well,
the
open 10:30 to 1:30.
parents- 10:30 to 1:30. The parents who have dropped their kiddos off for this thing will be bopping around
Milling
the
around.
building, chilling. So
I want to gather some things tactically here. Sounds like Jen, you are volunteering to set up the physical elements of this.
Yeah.
The table and maybe the coffee, maybe also the
I can grab cookies.
cookies.
Yeah.
Jen is stuff. Hannah, you just mentioned iPad for membership gathering. All right. Some combination of Hannah and Xander will manage
We have our-
membership.
Yeah.
I need to.
Are you even able to be there?
I need to. I
We're
need
working
to
on that.
reach out to my mother and see if she's fine with me.
Not to
doing
cancel,
something.
just to reschedule.
I don't.
For the record.
I can be there.
You'd love to be there.
I can be there.
Caroline. Caroline's gonna bring
Okay.
the pom poms to be a cheer squad.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the mineral thing? Do you,
My son went to it once, yeah.
would you like to go again?
Oh, I'll ask him.
I'm just saying it's gonna be at the same
He
time.
liked how many free rocks he got. Ask him.
Rock.
Yeah.
I think you are perhaps one of the best examples of how some other individuals could become involved. It's like, I'm going to this thing and I'm also
You're gay.
It could be like, oh, and they're super
you're the
fun.
case study.
Like I met Hannah, I met everyone,
It
super
was so
fun.
nice. And there were snacks.
There were snacks, I was fed. Yeah.
Comic relief. I've got it all.
What else do we need to make this meeting or this event successful?
We need printouts of newsletters, printouts of the trifolds ahead of time, so we're not like, it's not going out and we're like, oh gosh.
Printouts of newsletter.
And a fresh membership form.
And
which-
if we stop this meeting in the next 5 minutes, that could be our focus for the remaining 30 minutes here.
So you need to make sure you're actually like also putting it out there to people. Like
Yeah,
you've
the
got-
notes.
You've got some sort of like flyers at the front desk, you're putting it on your social media, you're sending out an email to your friends list.
So I make
Say,
little
hey,
bookmark
bring a
flyers.
friend.
I'd like to propose Hannah and Annabelle manage the outreach element.
Yeah.
The announcement.
If you do like a little bookmark size, I can slip it in everyone's book when they check out.
Oh, nice.
From now until then.
Okay, Canva.com.
Like I will, I will have those conversations with people when we check them out.
Like, this is fun. It's
Um,
awesome. It took me 5 minutes.
Hannah, is it also possible for you to send me the logo picture, the one that is
Yes,
like
it's funny you
official
should say that. Yeah, I can find that.
because I was looking for it and I was like, I don't know if this is the official one or not.
I'm pretty sure I have it too.
Yeah.
So I need
Do you
like
have it?
the official.
I have it from when I emailed it to the guys.
So I feel like I probably have it somewhere too. I'm not sure if I have the one.
When do you think you'd be able to be there? Like the whole time?
I don't think I have any plan.
And when you suggested 11 to 1.
Yeah,
Right.
we all get here at 10:30 to set up.
It's fine.
Is there social media for the library?
We have a Twitter and a Facebook. I don't think
Instagram?
no Instagram, right?
We don't have it.
If that is your preferred method, I'm sure they can create.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
I feel like it's
and
the best media
Brittany has some familiarity with like how to set up someone to act on behalf of an account, right?
What do you mean?
Weren't you telling me like you can give someone who's a real person access to manage an organization's
On Facebook pages, on a
Yeah.
business or group page. Yeah, so somebody owns it and you can set up authorized users from being the main person.
And you can authorize them to do like specific things.
Yes.
Like you can only post pictures. You cannot reply to comments with mean words.
Well, you can.
So you'll have to decide how much you trust.
You can just-
this-
How
My
much
users
do you
can
trust?
post photos, they could not do anything else.
Because I think I'm the person.
Not get into a fight.
Yeah, but then we have, I think, one other volunteer who has access, and then I could make someone else have access also. So yeah.
You shouldn't have a limit on how many people
Okay.
can post on your behalf.
Sure, I can figure that out. I'm gonna put Jean in charge of the coffee.
All right.
I'm gonna bug her when she gets back from vacation, because she's been on vacation a long, long time. So when she gets back, I'm gonna, you have work to do. Help me figure
Nice
out
and
these coffee
relaxed.
makers. Yeah, like now you're.
We have approximately half a dozen
We have so
coffee
many.
and tea makers in that break
I
room.
have no idea who uses any of them.
Um,
We'll have Jean figured out. She doesn't drink coffee, but I'm sure she knows how to use.
I don't know if this is a rocky topic to circle back to. Did you decide on how often certain groups within the Friends will be meeting?
So I wrote that down.
Not
I
yet.
think we all kind of like the idea of no more frequently than quarterly fun larger meeting.
I would agree with that.
Those are
Because you
gonna
want to make them
come fast.
special events, you want to give people time to prep for them, and you want to give yourselves time to advertise into them. And also, the more often that you make them like staple events throughout a year, the higher your turnouts will eventually become.
Is the board still meeting monthly or will it also only meet quarterly?
I think the intent is that the board would meet on the off months.
Makes sense.
So we're either meeting, every month, and we have a biannual, quarterly, or an annual big meeting, and we don't do a board meeting at that.
That makes sense.
You heading out?
I need to go.
No problem.
Sorry.
It's been a long meeting.
Okay.
Caregiver's going, so
Okay.
I'm up.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you. I leave in your capable hands.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moving right along.
I think we could probably conclude the meeting with a reminder of our assigned action items. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me
August
go down
3rd.
the list here. We've got Jen in charge of the stuff for August 3rd. with Jean, hopefully as your delegate for coffee.
Yes.
We've got Hannah and Xander in charge of the membership elements of that.
Yes.
So that is, do we have the ability for people to sign up to be a member and to tell us in what way they'd like to contribute, physically, digitally, all there in person. We've got Caroline as our recent involvement person who could help generically drive up interest.
A spokesperson.
Spokesperson. Yeah. Give your perspective. Have conversations with people. Just talk to them.
Is there anything else, like swag wise, physically, that we want to have on the table that like we
So
Oh,
on
'cause
hand,
I don't mind
hawking some swag.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you mean like giveaways, right?
Yeah, something. I don't know. I know you mentioned stickers and
You're probably going to be
t-shirts.
hard pressed to get free
Yeah,
stickers.
I was gonna say I have some stuff right now that I had purchased ahead of time that are they're mostly like kid geared, but they're like the little squishmallows, those little like line of little
Yeah.
squishmallow toys. We
Yeah.
have library centric squishmallow stickers that are like the little kitty. I love reading, and he has So I haven't given any of them away. I bought them specifically for the shark ones for Shark Week, and we've
And
cut
you
the
just
other
have-
ones. We just happened to have bookmarks and stickers of all the other characters that are not sharks, just chilling there, waiting to be used for something. So if we could do that, we can hand out some more.
How about balloons? Want me to get some balloons? Get out some balloons. Kids love balloons.
Kids
Do
love
create some
Like a whole
spectacle.
bunch of like blue ones for like the library color.
Yeah, blue and white.
Blue and white. Yeah.
Oh, white might be kind of boring, so maybe
Yeah,
just blue.
blue. Get some blue ones.
Blue balloons.
I would include more than one color.
Is-
Free balloons.
Not just blue.
Not to sign you up for more things, but do you have some time to gather some balloons?
Yeah, I
And
can get the balloons.
we can reimburse you.
Yeah, you can get a.
Yeah, no problem. I could do it like for a donation.
Even that's fine. Whenever you'd like.
Because if you did blue balloons with a white ribbon and white balloons with blue.
Yeah. Give a big black.
Oh, that would be so
Balloons.
nice.
All right. So Caroline is in charge of cheer
I
and
will
swag.
come in 11 with balloons on August
Yes.
3rd.
Thank you.
Amazing.
All right, and then we've got Annabelle and Hannah in charge of announcing and supporting the fact that this event is happening.
So what does that, what would that entail? Because I don't have any of the.
We're gonna get you access literally right now. We're gonna close out this meeting after we've done, and that's gonna be the first thing the three of us are gonna do.
I gotta get back in my Facebook. We'll make this very.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we
Get on your phone. Get into your
You don't need to
account.
activate your own Facebook, really.
You can just
want-
create a new one.
You need to have one, but you don't need to like update yours, period.
So I don't need to get into my.
It can be like a dummy
Not
account.
Not necessarily.
Because I'm locked in.
Facebook might give you some grief if you try to if you create a new account and has no information attached to it,
Right.
and you try to get added as an admin on a page, Facebook might be like, I don't like that. So just be
You're not
mentally prepared
human.
that that's possibly happening.
For Facebook to tell you you're
But
not.
yeah, you don't need like an active Facebook in order to. You need an account somewhere, but you don't need an active.
And then lastly, I'll be in charge of the newsletter and membership form updates, newsletter printouts.
Yeah.
Use
Get
that
us
on
the
your-
physical things to hand out.
Because I said newsletter.
Yes, you made the newsletter, and I'll print it.
What are these trifold things?
Oh, it's the actual membership brochure that people can sign up with. They can write their information on it. But
Yeah.
Do we need more of them?
Yes,
Yeah,
we need
so
to.
we need the new logo to put on it.
Memberships are.
Gift card, and then anyone who gets a membership gets put in
Like a
visual-
raffle?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Incentives.
And
Right.
then-
Okay, that's another thing. Who's going to be in charge of the raffle?
Well, we just so happened to have two $5 Dunkin'
Dunkin's
Donuts
gift
gift cards that we got at a concert last night.
Yeah, that
So-
they were handing out to every entrant at a Hozier concert.
So I think the gift card's already there.
Yeah,
so
we
that's
just
You got
got
the
the
gift cards. You're going to donate it? You've got the raffle
Amazing.
ticket, real.
Hey, I got raffle tickets like crazy.
Okay,
We
so
were up on the lawn.
let's just, all right, Hannah, you and I are in charge of membership, so let's just add that in. Raffle.
Raffle.
And Cheer Squad can make sure that we're aware.
Everyone gets
Yeah.
her.
How many balloons should I get? Like, how many kids are going to the rock thing? Like,
I
20?
think like we might want to ask Janice on the way
I
out.
can do that.
I want to say like 10.
I'll just get
15?
a lot.
So then maybe like double it and do 30.
Okay. I'll do
a bag of each, and then
It's double.
whatever
I'll
you
do
don't
30
use, we can
to
just
start
use at a
and
later date.
see how much it costs.
Yeah, if we have extra, I'm sure we can
We
hand
get-
them out
they're-
rather than have little Jimmy come in and cry because we ran out of funds.
Yeah.
I don't want to break anyone's heart.
It's better to have too many.
It's right, you know how it is.
All right.
The balloon meltdowns for.
Yeah.
Because if ask it out the door,
This
you're
might
like,
be a
"Here's
bad
10
idea,
balloons."
actually. Or peace and quiet in the library, but
That's okay.
No, have nothing but blue balloons and one white balloon, and then make them like really fight over it.
it will definitely get children bring their parents over to the table.
I won't be the director that day, so it'll be someone else's problem. I'm just friend Jen that day.
Any last minute, let's do this thing.
I would just like to add that this work group was brought to you by the Friends of the Granby Street.
We're so much fun.
Many programs in this town are made possible by this volunteer organization, and we want you to join.
Yeah!